up, come into a downward dog again. Then on the inhale, come forward to a plank. Now, as you come forward to a plank, squeeze the block, look at the wall in front of you, and push the floor away. So look at the wall in front of you, not at the floor. I know other people, they tell you to look at the floor. I want you to look at the wall. Inhale. Exhale, lengthen your tailbone toward your heels. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 6. Inhale. Exhale, 7. Inhale. Exhale, 8. Inhale. Exhale, 9. Inhale. Exhale, lift the hips up, go back into a downward facing dog. Now keep the block between the legs. If the block isn't between your legs, place the block between your legs, bringing the third block into your pelvic floor. Walk your feet forward till your feet are flat on the ground. Your hips, your knees, your ankles are in line with each other. Now, if your hands are lifting up or you're bending your knees to get your hands on the floor, put your hands on blocks. Raise the blocks to where you need them. Let the head be heavy. Look back at the wall behind you. Walk your feet a little bit more, Roma, about to right here where that flower is. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale, still forward. You're still in kind of like a V shape. Exhale, 3. Walk your feet forward so it's like hips, knees, and ankles. Yeah, use your blocks. Exhale, 5. There you go. Look at there. Exhale, 6. Inhale. Exhale, 7. It's interesting how that works out. Exhale, 8. Inhale. Exhale, 9. Inhale. Exhale, 10. Now take the block out from between your thighs. Set the block behind you on the highest setting. Then step your feet out as wide as your mat. Come sit on your block with your heels on your yoga mat, your toes on the lovely bamboo floor. So your feet are as wide as your mat, Roma, all the way out. Your feet are kind of turned out a little bit at an angle. And then bring the hands together and bring your elbows right in between your knees and press out with your forearms, but then squeeze in a little bit with your knees. So there's a hip opener happening here. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Good. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 6. Inhale. Exhale, 7. Inhale. Exhale, 8. Inhale. Exhale, 9. Inhale. Exhale, 10. Now put your hands on the floor, lift your hips up, take the block out from underneath your seat, sit down. Extend your legs straight out in front of you. Yep. If you need to, you can move your blocks to the front of the mat, but they shouldn't actually be on your mat. Then bring your legs together. Dorsal flex your feet. Dorsal flex means to pull your toes back toward you. On the inhale, bend your right knee into your chest. Step your right foot on the outside of your left knee. You don't have to go any higher, please. Just at the knee joint, not at the thigh. If you came up to the thigh, move your foot down a little, Kevin. Yeah, there you go. On your inhale, lift your left arm up alongside your left ear. Then exhale, twist over to the right. Bring your left elbow on the outside of your right leg. Take your right hand behind you in line with your hip, with your heel of the hand closer to your hip than the wall. Inhale. Notice if you're reaching for the wall, I want you to bring your hand back toward your hip. Exhale, 2. All the way to your hip, hand touches your butt. There you go. Exhale, 3. And then pull this toe back. Look back there. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, extend your right leg. Can you take Roma's stuff and move it over here? Can you take her personal items and move it over here, Stephanie? When you come into class, guys, personal items, always bring it over to the desk. Or over here. On the inhale, bend the left knee into the chest. Place the left foot on the outside of your right knee. Dorsal flex your right foot. Lift your right arm up. As you lift your right arm up, notice what your right foot is doing. Pull your toes back, and then exhale, twist over to the left. Bring your right elbow on the outside of your left leg. And here again, your hand comes closer to your hip than the wall. Inhale. Exhale 1. Look at the wall behind you. Exhale 2. There's a little neck stretch there going on. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. On the inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, extend the left leg. Now inhale, bend both the knees. Put the heels where the knees were. But then take your block and place your block between the thighs like this on that little bit wider setting. And you don't want to run it down your thighs. You're kind of, see how mine's kind of like, it's more like that. Then take your hands behind you, 6 to 8 inches with your fingers pointing forward, Kevin. Then bring your chin into your chest, Kevin. Take your feet apart, about 2 fists. On your inhale, feet apart, about 2 fists. Keep the hold of that block. On the inhale, lift your hips up. As you lift your hips up, let your head go back. Tabletop. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Inhale. Exhale 6. Inhale. Exhale 7. Inhale. Exhale 8. Inhale. Lift the hips. Exhale 9. Inhale. Exhale. Gently come down and come sit on your 2 blankets. Okay, you can set that block to the side. Hello, everybody. How is everybody today? So that's the warm-up we do every week. I do not teach the warm-up in details. I don't give you a lot of alignment in that. You will learn the asanas of the warm-up over the 4-week course. You have come to week 2 of Urban Sadhu Yoga Fundamentals. And this is a teaching class. This is a classroom situation. Like sometimes you go to other yoga studios and it's kind of like there's nobody that gives you any instructions. The thing about that, they're studios. We're a yoga school. And that's what's different about a school. School, I'm going to teach things to you. I'm going to give you directions. I'm going to say, be aware of what you're doing. So it just makes it very different. And it confuses people now in modern yoga when young students come to class and all of a sudden they're told what to do. And they're like, why are you being mean to me? Why are you telling me what to do? It's like, well, we're a yoga school. I'm a teacher. I'm here to teach you. Other places that teach mixed methods, they don't tell you what to do. We only teach one methodology. We just teach from one lineage. So this is week 2. Week 2 is forward folds and hip openers. Forward folds karmically deal with your past because it reveals tightness in the back of the body. Okay? So that it's all the tightness in your hamstrings, your lower back, your glutes, your upper back. And so we're going to work on that, but that deals with the back of your body. The thing about this course is it's a 4-week cycle. Week 1 is standing asana. So if you missed it, you can always just come to next month, the first week of the month. Some of you were here last week. Week 2 is forward folds and hip openers. Week 3 is back bending. Week 4 is inversions. And then the course starts all over again. Today, we're actually going to learn and start off with a kriya. Everybody say Kapalabhati. Kapalabhati means skull shining, okay? Kapalabhati is not a pranayama, it's a kriya. It means it's a cleanse, okay? A kriya is when you clean something out, you get rid of something. So I gave everybody 2 tissues. So everybody take one of your tissues. And notice, Echo, I've been very generous in giving them 2. I didn't make them divided in half. And then take your tissue. That's a little inside joke for Echo and I. Take your one tissue, take it up to your nose, and blow your nose out. Okay? And then take that tissue, wad it up, put it aside, take it with you. Don't make Bobby or I or Stephanie or Echo or Dominga clean it up after you. Take it with you after you go. What did you have to do to blow your nose? How, was it just an exhale? Because you exhale all the time. What did you have to do? Exhale forcefully. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, that's the right answer. So this is a Kapalabhati is an a forceful exhale. But in Kapalabhati, what's happening is the inhale is happening, but it's passive, okay? So we're learning to use the diaphragm. Does everybody know what the diaphragm is? Or does somebody have never heard of this word diaphragm before? If you haven't, it's okay, raise your hand. I don't know what it is. That's why I said we're school, right? So the diaphragm is a muscle that attaches to the bottom of your rib cage. The diaphragm is a muscle that you consciously can control, but you basically unconsciously control it because it actually assists in breathing. When you inhale, the diaphragm moves down and it pushes the inner organs of the body out. So it's not gym breath, right? Where you suck in and inhale. We're actually asking you to expand. When you exhale, the diaphragm lifts up and pushes against the lungs and moves the air out, which then pulls the internal organs in, okay? So we're looking at your diaphragm and what your diaphragm is doing to teach this Kriya, okay? So bring your second tissue and take that tissue and hold on to the corners of that tissue. Now, I want you to act like it's a little veil and bring it across your nose. Now, keeping your mouth closed, inhale and make one forceful exhale and make the tissue move. And do it forcefully. That's better. Now, move the tissue away from your bridge of your nose and aim your nostrils at the bottom of the tissue. Make the bottom of the tissue move with one forceful exhale. Make it move. So watch me over here. Look at me. Imagine that you have a big booger right here and you want to get it out. Better. Okay, so now take that tissue and fold it up. Did everybody kind of feel how your diaphragm kind of kept lifting up to make that happen? Yes? Okay. How many people have heard of the word staccato? What does staccato mean? Yes. It's an Italian word. It's used a lot in music. And it's and so a staccato note is a note that's like sharp and quick. So your exhale isn't, it's like, imagine that in your head you're singing the word tot, and you're going to match that exhale to the word tot, 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 tot. A tot note would be a staccato note, okay? So if I'm practicing Kapalabhati, you're just going to watch me. I'm going to put my hand on my upper abdomen so I can feel the diaphragm. And I'm going to close my eyes, and I want to have a relaxed face and relaxed shoulders. I'm going to inhale halfway to a comfortable level. And then I'm going to make short exhales. And I can keep going and going and going. Why? Because my diaphragm is starting to flutter like a butterfly's wing. And every time I exhale, the diaphragm is going to react like a muscle and kind of pull a little bit of air in so I don't run out of air. So it's not, I'm not doing that. It's tot, 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 tot. But there's no conscious inhale that's happening. Does that make sense? Okay, we're going to try it. So everybody set up nice and tall, close your eyes, and place your hand on your top of your abdomen, right where the rib cage meets the abdomen, so you can feel your diaphragm. Inhale deeply through your nose and fill up your lungs completely. Feel how you're expansive and your diaphragm moved down and your belly moved out. Now exhale everything out all the way to the bottom and feel how your diaphragm lifted up and your internal organs moved in and up, and you're pressing against the heart and the lungs. Now inhale halfway to a comfortable level, not too full, not too little, and start making short exhales on my clap. Pump, 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 pump. Slow it down. Exhale everything out. Okay? And then breathe normally. Inhale fully. Exhale out again. Inhale and exhale. And then gently open your eyes. All right. How did that feel? It just moves a lot, right? It's a lot of movement there. And we'll talk about why in a minute. Like, what did you feel? Did anybody feel like they were getting a little warmer? Okay, so this is a rajasic kriya, meaning it's a heat building kriya. Did anybody feel a little lightheaded? Like you were getting a little dizzy maybe? No? You did. So that's the skull shining. Why would you feel like you're getting a little lightheaded? Because you're constantly exhaling. It means that you're keeping the carbon in the body longer. So that causes a chemical reaction in the brain that the brain starts to feel a little light. But it's said that like in ancient yogic traditions that like because the saints and the yogis did this, that's why they had a halo or an aura that you could see. There was a shining of the skull. So why would we teach this kriya in week 2? Anybody? Forward folds and hip openers. Why would you teach it in week 2? Because it actually, they work together. Why would you think, why? Yeah, so like if I can learn to start to move the diaphragm in and up, I can get deeper into a forward fold. So if I push the diaphragm out, I don't go as far. So it's learning to manipulate this muscle that actually helps you to breathe, but it could help you in an asana. If I'm doing a twist, if I exhale and I do the twist, I go deeper into the twist than if I do it on the inhale. So I'm starting to use subtle muscles in the body that I'm unaware of. All right. Any other questions about Kapalabhati? Yes. No, you should be able to just use the diaphragm and pump and allow the vacuum or the pumping of the diaphragm just to take a little bit of air in that you don't feel like you're losing too much air. You may also be going, trying instead of, right? Yeah, it does take some work. I'm not saying that it's the easiest kriya in the world, right? It does take practice. All right, everybody. So here, I'm going to advise everybody, don't drink water during class, okay? It becomes like a nervous habit, like, and you don't really know why you're drinking water. It's like smoking cigarettes. Everybody, come off of your blanket. And you don't have to move your mat back to the wall. Come and sit down with your back against the wall, okay? Just move your blankets off your mat. Come sit down with your sacrum, this triangular shaped bone right above at the base of your spine, against the wall. So you want your behind as close as you can get to the wall. Now extend your legs straight out and dorsal flex your feet. Dorsal flex means to pull your toes back toward you. Then lift your arms up alongside your ears. Bring your arms and your ears in line with each other. There's no way you can't, but you may have to move your shoulders back a little bit. Then turn your palms slightly outward. So you're going to turn your palms like you're holding up a basket. And notice if you're kind of bending your elbows like you're in ballet, I want you to extend through your shoulders and your elbows and try to push the ceiling up towards you. Okay? And breathe. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, relax. All right. What shape are we making? What is this shape? An L-shaped? What else is it? It's a 90-degree angle, right? What else is it? Is there an asana that looks like this? Is there an asana that you did in the warm-up that looks like this? Downward dog? Downward dog? Okay, everybody say Adho Mukha Svanasana. Svanasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana means Adho, downward, Mukha, face, Shvan is a hound or a dog, and asana is a seat. And we're going to look at our downward facing dog for a moment. Everybody come onto the hands and knees. Okay. Now, last week I talked about your feet. And down dog, all of a sudden your hands become the seat. Your hands, like your feet, have 3 arches. There's an arch at the back of your wrist. There's an arch in the middle of your hand. There is an arch behind your fingers. Downward dog, all of a sudden you get to put your hands on the ground and your hands become part of the seat. So let's put your hands on the ground. And let's make your knees aren't together. You don't want your knees together. For this, you want them about 2 fists apart. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to start out, because the seat is the connection of asana. I want you to start out by thinking about hand placement. So right now, if I look at my hands, I see an L shape. My index finger is going straight forward and my thumb is going off to the side. I want to change that slightly. I want you to turn that into a J shape so that your fingers are slightly turned out. Notice look at my hand. Notice I'm not going way out. I'm trying to make a J. So now I see a J, 2 J's facing each other. Now, when I move my hand slightly out, notice how that I tracked the elbow, the eye of the elbow down the thumb. Now, some people are hyper flexible, like you can really turn your arm forward. I don't want you to do that. I want you to pull your elbow back so that the eye of your elbow tracks right down the center of your thumb. Notice that because we're doing it this way, I have created an internal rotation of my forearm and an external rotation of my upper arm. Okay, so now I have the spiraling energy going up my arm. Now, with my fingers turned out slightly, I want you to spread your fingers evenly so you're not cupping your hand. Your index finger is not touching your middle finger, your thumb, your pinky finger is not touching your ring finger, but there's equal weight distribution and space in between each of your fingers. Now what I want you to do is I want you to put a lot of pressure in your wrist and lift your fingers up like this. Does that feel good? Does that feel good? No, it feels awful. It feels terrible. Now, put your hands down and think of this index knuckle as a pressure point, the index knuckle of your finger. Lift the back of your wrist up just a little bit so you take the wrinkles out of the front of your wrist. Put more weight into your fingertips and your index knuckle. So look at me real quick. So see how if I'm leaning forward, you see how I got those wrinkles in the front of my wrist right here, like you do right now? I want you to move weight forward and lift up in your wrist just a little, as if there's just lifting up that back arch. You're not lifting it very much. It's actually getting your fingers. Try this. Act like you're a kitty cat and you're going to claw your mat. Act like a kitty cat and claw the mat with your fingers. Feel how you activated. I didn't notice how I'm not even really bending my fingers to do this. I'm just activating the muscles as if I'm trying to dig my fingernails into the mat. Notice how I activated those arches of my hands. Keep pressing into that index knuckle and lifting up the back of the wrist. Now move your knees back so that you bring your ears in line with your arms and you're reaching forward. and you're pushing the floor away from you in your index knuckle. Now, keeping your ears in line with your arms, ears in line with arms. Start to lift your knees up, and as you lift your knees up, try not to move your shoulders forward. That's pretty good. But notice if the first thing you did is you jacked your knees forward. You should come forward a little bit so you're on your mat completely. All right. Now, as you push back with your shoulders, bend your knees just a little bit, everybody. Push your chest back towards your hips. You don't have to lock your knees here. We'll talk about the legs in a minute. But feel how that spiraling energy up your front of your arm is going across your back, pulling your lower ribs in and ending up in your sit bones in the top of your buttocks. Now come forward to a plank. As you come forward to a plank, if you're moving your feet, you shorten your down dog. Okay? So come forward to a plank and give yourself a little more space in your plank. Don't move your hands, move your feet. Move your feet back. Move your feet back. Yeah. Now, go back to a downward dog from a plank without moving your hands or your feet. Don't adjust and shorten the dog. Come forward to a plank again. Look forward in the middle of the room, not at the floor, and lengthen your tailbone. Good. And then go back to a downward facing dog. Good. Come forward to a plank and drop down to your knees. All right. That's just the front of your body. Did that feel different from anybody's down dog before? Right. So what we're trying to achieve in down dog is we want to achieve a isosceles triangle, meaning that it's a triangular shape, like a 90-degree. We've taken that thing that you've done on the wall, and when you're like this, and we've just flipped it upside down. Now, your body is a perfect measurement of itself. Your plank and your down dog are the same measurement because you have a hinge at your hips, which allows the triangular shape to form, okay? So, from a plank, I should be able to measure a down dog. And there should be enough space. Now, as I push away, if I have tight hamstrings, what will happen is I'll start to round forward. But by bending my knees a little bit, I can keep that triangular shape and keep the hip crease at the highest point, pushing the floor away and allowing that energy then to move down the legs, pushing the shin bones into the calves. All right, so everybody come, take your 2 blocks and put your 2 blocks on the wall like this, okay? Just like that, okay? Now, what I want you to do is I want you to come onto your hands and knees. You're going to put the ball of your foot against the block. In other words, my little toes are tucked under and my heels are up in the air. Now, I'm going to push my seat back toward my heels and I'm going to reach my arms forward as far as possible. Imagine that you're bowing down to the Pasha of Istanbul, right? My ears are in line with my arms. I'm not putting my head on the floor. It's not a child seat. It's a setup for your down dog. So it shouldn't be resting. You're activating. Your forearms are off the ground. You're pressing into that index knuckle. Now push into your hands and then lift your knees up off the floor without moving your shoulders forward. Then step your foot forward just till your little heels are on the edge of the block and you're like in a high heel shoe, about 3-inch high heel shoe. So your heel right here, look where my foot is. Look where my foot is. See my heel? Just step forward a little bit. Step forward a little bit till you're like a high heel shoe. No, yeah, like there you go. Now push back with your forearms. You can bend your knees a little bit. So there should be a little softness in the knees. Now come forward to a plank. And as you come forward to a plank, look at the wall in front of you and pull your belly button in and push the floor away from you. Notice how that is a perfect measurement for my down dog. I don't have to shuffle hands or feet. Now lift your hips up. Go back to a downward facing dog. Okay. Now from here, start to look forward. Move your shoulders forward like a plank. Now pick your right foot up and step your right foot forward in between your hands. Now push your left heel into the block. Yeah, and look forward in a lunge, a low lunge. My hands are still down. I know I took your blocks away. Then pick your right foot up and step your right heel on the block and push your chest back, go into a down dog. Now do that on the left side. Start to look forward, move your shoulders forward like a plank, but then step your left foot forward in between your hands. Push through your right heel in a lunge. Good. Activate the post-anterior chain of your right leg. You're not bending your right knee. Then pushing your hands, step your left foot back onto the block and push your chest back by pushing into your hands. Then come forward to a plank and look forward. Notice how it's perfect mathematical sync. And then drop down to your knees. All right. Okay. How does that feel for everybody? Good. Is everybody a little warmer already? Okay, so in that sequence, I taught you Adho Mukha Svanasana. I taught you a plank as we teach it in yoga, right? In yoga, we're teaching it to you looking forward, not at the floor. Why? Because in sun salutations, you're acting like the sun. You're always moving forward in time, not downward. So different, if you were at a gym, they would tell you to look down, okay? And then I taught you stepping forward and back. Everybody come stand up and bring your 2 blocks with you and bring your blocks to the top of your mat and put your blocks like this. Okay, so today is the first day I teach you a sun salutation or a Surya Namaskar. Surya Namaskar means sun salutation. It's a sun salute. It was mimicking the sun. That's the idea of a sun salutation. It also heats up your body. This sun salutation I'm going to teach you is very simple, okay? I've taught you the middle elements. If you come and stand in between your blocks, think of the top of your mat as where the sun rises. Where does the sun rise? Where does the sun rise? East. Where does the sun set? Where's the sun set? Yeah, west. Where does it rise the next day? The sun. Where does it rise the next day? East. Okay, it's really simple. Okay, so this is not a trick question. Okay. So the deal is in a sun salutation, you're always trying to get back to this point, which is in the east. That's where you're going to start the next sun salutation. Okay? In this sun salutation, we started in Tadasana. For those of you who were not here last week, my tradition, we teach Tadasana with feet together. So the big toes, the heels come together. Why? Because when I do that, I know where my shin bones are. I know where my knees are. I know where my hips are. I know where my feet are. My feet are planted on the earth. When my feet are apart, I actually have to look down to see if they're even. I can't really tell or feel it. So standing in Tadasana, mountain seat, big toes and heels touch. Your hands are by the side of the body. Your gaze is at the horizon. So remember, it's like the sun looking at the horizon because that's where it's going. I'm going to just teach this to you. We'll do it a couple of times and I'll give you some details. Bring your hands together in undulating mudra. Now keep your palms together and extend your arms and cut your eyes up to your thumbs instead of throw your head back. Mistake number 1, people throw their head back and you're going to extend through your elbows all the way through those shoulders like in a down dog. Yeah. Now bring your hands through the central channel of your body, fold forward, hinging at your hip crease, and put your hands on the blocks next to your feet. You can bend your knees to get there and look at your shins. Uttanasana. Now soften your knees, shift your weight into your left foot, step your right foot back into a long lunge, all the way back, be generous, and look forward at the wall in front of you, lifting up your right knee, not bending it. Now exhale, step your left foot back, downward dog, your feet are hips width distance apart, 2 fists, and you're looking at your shins, and you're pushing your chest back. Your ears are in line with your arms in your down dog. And if you need to bend your knees a little bit, bend your knees. But don't walk your feet forward trying to get your heels on the ground. Then on your inhale, come forward to a plank and look at the wall in front of you, pushing through the heels and the crown of the head. Good. Then exhale, go back to a downward facing dog, lift your hips. Now, on your inhale, start to look at the wall in front of you, move your shoulders forward and step your right foot forward in between your hands. Now, as you do that, push through your left heel and look at the wall in front of you, not at the floor. You're moving forward like the sun. Then exhale, step your left foot next to the right and fold forward, straightening your legs, feet together, looking at your shins, lifting up through the sit bones. With straight legs, press into your feet, bring your hands together in mudra, and extend your arms looking up at your thumbs, standing all the way up. So bring it through the central channel of your body instead of chopping at it. All right, then exhale, bend your elbows, bring your hands through your central channel of your body, fold forward at your hip crease, press your palms into the blocks. Soften your knees, shift your weight into your right foot, step your left foot back into a lunge and look forward, press into your hands, push through your left leg. Look at the wall in front of you, not the floor. Exhale, downward facing dog, lift the hips, gaze at the navel. Good. On the inhale, come forward to a plank, look at the wall in front of you, not the floor. Then exhale, go back to a downward facing dog, lift the hips. On the inhale, start to move forward with your shoulders, step your left foot in between your blocks and look at the wall in front of you, lunge, push through your right heel. Then exhale, your right foot next to your left and fold over your straight legs, press your palms down. With straight legs, not bent knees, stand up, extend your arms, look up at your thumbs, asana. Good. Exhale, hands by the side to Dasana. I have to admit, that was pretty good. That was very good. How did that feel doing that? Good. Did anybody sense that you're getting hotter? Okay, so that's what a sun salutation is. And like if it were like a gym class, I would tell you this is the cardio section. Right? It is to heat the body up. It's continuous movement. It's to heat up your post-anterior chain. Is there any questions about that sun salutation?
Is there any way to keep your palms from slipping when you're like trying to push out?
On the blocks, you mean?
Or yeah, or even like just
So if you have sweaty palms, then you because some people have more sweat glands in their hands than other people. And so if you're somebody who has a little more wetness, you may find that you're sliding. So you can do one or two things. You can use a little pine rosin, like you can get it at a sports store. They use it for basketball, so they can grip the ball better. That helps a lot of people. Also, check out your yoga mat. If your yoga mat is shiny, and this is a shiny yoga mat, that means it has PVC on it, plastic, and it's always going to slide. So this is a natural rubber mat, and it's non-gripping. It's non-sliding. It's a gripping yoga mat. So the prop you use also could change it too. But that's what I would suggest, or even a little like cornstarch. Like a little cornstarch would dry out the wetness. If you've also put oil on your hands or some kind of lotion before your class, that could cause your hands to slip. Just so you know. Do we want to do this one more time? Okay, we're going to do this one more time. So because I think it looked really good. Come to the front of your mat, standing into Tadasana, mountain seat. Big toes and heels touch. Tailbone moves toward the pubic bone, gazes at the horizon. Hands are by the side. On the inhale, bring the hands together in undulating mudra. Extend your arms Take your gaze up to your thumbs without throwing your head back. Excellent. Exhale, hinge at your hip crease, fold forward, put your hands on the blocks, and look at your shins, Uttanasana. Inhale, soften your knees, shift your weight in your left foot, step your right foot back into a long lunge, and look forward at the wall in front of you. Exhale, step your left foot back, downward facing dog, lift your hips, look at your knees or your navel. On your inhale, come forward to a plank, look at the wall in front of you. Exhale, go back, downward facing dog, lift your hips. On your inhale, step your right foot forward in between your blocks. Move your shoulders forward to do that. Exhale, left foot next to the right and fold over straight legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up, extend the arms, see your prayer, Asana. Exhale, scoop the navel in and up, fold forward over the straight legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, soften the knees, step the left foot back into a long lunge and look forward at the wall in front of you, not at your back foot. Exhale, downward facing dog, lift your hips. Inhale, come forward to a plank, look at the wall in front of you. Exhale, go back, downward facing dog, lift your hips. On your inhale, start to move your shoulders forward, step your left foot forward in between your hands. Exhale, your right foot meets your left and fold over your legs, Uttanasana. On the inhale, rise up, extend the arms, see the prayer. Exhale, hands by the side to Dasana. Yay! Excellent. So after you did a series of sun salutations back in the good old days, like, back when like yoga began 2,000 years ago, you would have then sat on the riverbank, because everybody went down to the river and did yoga. You watched the rising sun come up, you would do sun salutations facing the sun, and then you would sit down and you would do Paschimottanasana. Everybody say Paschimottanasana. Paschimottanasana means intense stretch of the western side of the body. So in yoga, the feet are the soul of the south, the top of the head is the north, the front of the body is the east, the back of the body is the west. This is also, I think this is the same in Chinese medicine and also in Ayurveda, which is a sister science to yoga. If you went to an Ayurvedic doctor, he would talk about the west, the north, the east, the south side of the body. So you would end up stretching the western side of the body. So everybody, let's come and take, I'm going to pretend like this is my short end of the mat. Take a blanket and place that blanket right there on the edge of your mat. You can move your blocks off to the side. All right. Now, so you're going to bring yours to the front. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know it gets confusing because I'm kind of sideways to you. So if everybody stands up and reaches into their glute muscles, if you dig deep into your muscle, can you feel a pointy kind of prickly bone right there in the middle of your buttocks? Yes? You have to kind of press deep into the muscle. So that bone right there, like when I actually kind of stick my behind out and I can feel it, is called the sit bone. Okay? That bone is kind of like the same thing I was saying about your hands or your feet. When you're doing seated forward folds, that bone is the connection to the earth, right? So I'm not kind of sitting on my sacrum or my tailbone, my coccyx, and I'm not kind of like so jacked up, I'm kind of sitting on the back of my thighs. So I want you to sit with your sit bones right at the edge of that rolled up blanket. So I'm not sitting my behind in the middle of the blanket. I'm setting my sit bones right there on that rolled edge. And all of a sudden, if you rock back and forth a little bit, you can feel those two bony bones. Can you feel them? Okay. So once I make that connection to the earth, notice what's happening in your spine. I'm kind of having to set up tall. So everybody, take 2 blocks And I want you to put these 2 blocks next to your hip. As close as you can. They can be a little forward, a little back, but I know the blanket is there. But you just bring them as close as you can. Now, move your hands back toward your hips. It may just be your fingertips on the block. Now, push into your hands a little bit and lift your sternum, and then pull your toes back. So I'm all of a sudden feeling the western side of my body. I haven't even folded forward, and I am feeling a stretch happening from my heels all the way to the back of my neck. Does everybody feel that? Okay, relax. All right, so this is called Dandasana, staff seat. I told you we were going to do Paschimottanasana, but it's kind of transition between Paschimottanasana and just sitting down. Bring awareness. Anytime you're sitting at your office desk or you're sitting down, you're in a forward fold. That's important to start to recognize. Most of the time, we spend our lives in forward folds and we don't even know it, right? That's why forward folds are so kind of comforting to us sometimes, because we're familiar with them. Whereas something like back bending and inversions can be kind of like jarring because we're not. So now what I want you to do is I want you to be aware of your feet. Let's talk about your feet for a moment. So whatever your feet are doing, the back of your body's doing. Okay? So point your toes away from you like a ballet dancer. Where do you feel the stretch happening? Really? Is that what that is? Can you stretch? So I feel a stretch happening in the top of my foot and the shin because my calf is contracting. Now, pull your toes back towards you and tell me where you feel the stretch. I now feel it in my calf because the shin muscles, and I forget the name of these muscles, are contracting. So for something to stretch, something has to contract. Always. A forward fold is when the front of the body is contracting and the back of the body is extending or stretching. Okay? So they're always, if you want a forward fold, you have to pull your toes back in a dorsal flex. If you point them, you're contracting and stretching the front. That's the difference. You will see people do forward folds and they'll do like this. Acrobats, gymnasts, circus performers. Why? It's prettier. I'm not concerned about pretty. Pretty, we're dealing with functional, okay? So now take your belt. And I want you to take your belt around the ball of your foot, okay? And I'm still have my sit bones on that rolled edge of the blanket. And notice how that when I put it around the ball of my foot, and the ball of the foot is just below your toes, not your arches. So it's the belt is basically underneath my little pinky toe. Now, pull the belt back towards you and lift up through your chest. Notice if you're having a tendency to kind of lean backwards toward the wall, because if you're leaning backwards, you're not coming into that forward fold and setting up straight and pulling your ribs in a little bit. Yeah. Now, this is the beginning, here again, of Dandasana. This is another version of Dandasana. Now, start to creep your fingers like a little spider down the belt, down the belt. Notice how, look how I'm doing it. I'm not doing it like Miss Kitty driving the buggy. I'm like doing it on... You know, Miss Kitty and the Gunsmoke, she's always like this in the buggy. Okay. Now, once I get my hands down, I can touch the outside of my toes with my thumb. Maybe not, but I'm going to pull a little bit on my feet with my arms and pull my chest forward. Now, I'm going to keep looking at my big toes, and I'm going to try to reach out and grab the outside of my foot. Then I'm going to pull my belly forward, pull your diaphragm in again, and then bend your elbows and fold forward, but keep breathing And look at your toes. Don't look backwards, because that just rounds your upper back. And breathe. Inhale. Go for it. Exhale 1. There. Inhale. Exhale 2. Good. Inhale. Exhale 3. Smile. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Inhale. Exhale 6. Good. Inhale. Exhale 7. Inhale. Exhale 8. Inhale. Exhale 9. Inhale. Exhale 10. Now inhale, lift up. And exhale, hands by the hips. Okay, how did that feel? Intense? Intense. Okay, it is intense. So you're stretching all these muscles, right? In the back of the body. And most of us have tight hamstrings. One of the things that keep thinking about is where you're looking in an asana, because that's going to change what's happening in your back. If I start to look back at my own belly button and groin in this, I'm only going to round my shoulders to get there. Yes, there are people who can fold forward all the way down and put their forehead on their shins, and then really in reality they're looking back. But if I'm not touching my forehead to my shins and my chest toward my thighs, then keep looking forward, because you're trying to find that space moving forward still. Does that make sense? And a lot of people would tell you to look backwards, but that's not getting you any deeper into the forward fold, because all of a sudden you're moving forward, you're moving forward, you're moving forward, you're moving forward, you're moving forward. It's not rounding. We're trying to keep the spine elongated. Does that make sense? We're going to try this another way, okay? You're going to stay seated on the blanket. And I'm going to bring my second blanket over here, okay? And I'm going to put my heels on the blanket. And then I'm going to take the belt and I'm going to put the belt around the ball of the foot. And I'm going to take my thumbs and I'm going to get my thumb next to my little baby toe. And I'm kind of pulled in here. Has anybody ever been in a snow sled with your little brother or sister? And there's like 3 of you in it and everybody's like this going down the hill? If not, you've seen that photo though. So notice how my belly, my diaphragm is against my thighs. I want you to experience that forward fold instead of rounding forward fold. Don't let your belly leave the thighs. In other words, if I get here and my belly starts to leave the thighs, don't go any further. If you can, bring your legs all the way out, but keep your abdomen on your thighs. So inhale, lift through your chest. Now start to slide your heels forward, keeping your chest and your belly on your thighs, and reach out and grab your feet. Look at your toes and pull yourself back. If you have a little bend in your knees, that's okay. Bending your knees is okay. Don't let space happen from here to here, right? So if you need to come into it a little bit, find that link. Now pull yourself forward with your knees bent just a little bit. Pull your chest toward your big toes. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Pull your chest forward, lengthening the roundness out of your back. And notice how I got a little bend. It's okay. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Good. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. And inhale, lift up. And did anybody feel that more in your back? Okay, remember, Paschimottanasana means intense stretch of the western side of the body. It's not just stretching hamstrings. It's stretching the entire back. So that idea of lengthening and moving forward is super important. All righty. Stephanie's going to take over for me.
blanket from underneath the heels and just move that off to the side. We may use that again. Extend the legs back out and make sure you're sitting, in case things moved around, on the edge of your blanket. Now keep your belt handy as well. And now bend the right knee into the chest. Make sure that the left foot is still staying dorsal flexed, right? You're still pressing into that heel as if you were standing on the ground. And then guide the right knee out to the side, being careful of the knee, and take the sole of your right foot, place it on the inside of your left thigh. For those that were here last week, this is kind of like vrikshasana or tree seat, right? So you should create a little bit of tension in between the sole of the right foot and the left leg, because the left leg is staying engaged, just like when we were in Paschimottanasana. You have the sole of the right foot here. If your right knee is not all the way on the ground, that's cool. Take your blanket and place the blanket underneath the right knee to give your knee support, right? We want to protect our knees first and foremost. Safety first. Now, your torso is kind of facing in the middle, right? You got your left leg, your right leg. Turn your torso to try and face it over the left leg. So it's not a big twist, it's a little twist, right? And then as you exhale out, start to walk the hands forward. See if you can grab the foot. If not, take your belt. Put that belt back around the ball of the foot, just as it was. Again, same moment, same feeling as if we were in Paschimottanasana. So if your back is rounding, take the belt so that you can straighten the spine. Looking forward at the foot, not down at your leg, right? Amy, dorsal flex the foot. I know, that's the hard part. Does this feel a little bit, can you go a little bit farther, right? On one leg versus both, right? Still getting that hamstring stretch, making sure it's in the back of the leg, as we said, right? The front of the leg is contracting. Now start to lift up. Take the right hand, bring it underneath the right knee, lift that leg back up. Trying to keep the sit bones where they are, right? We're not like hiking up here. Just moving the knee in the hip socket, and then straighten that right leg next to the left. How is that? Any questions? Good? Got it?
It's interesting that you probably can fold a little more deeper in an asymmetrical asana than symmetrical. And some people may have found it a little easier.
Well, good news, we get to try the other side. So if you needed a blanket, move it off to the left just in case, right? Different sides, different things, right? We think our bodies are symmetrical, but they're really not. So now bend your left knee. Remember that right foot, right? Keeping that engaged. And then guiding the left knee down, bringing the sole of the left foot inside the right thigh. Again, creating that little tension in the center line. Take your belt. Well, first, actually, turn your torso slightly, right now, over the right leg. And then as you exhale, you can take your belt, or if you could grab the foot, again, keeping that spine long, looking at the toes. Remember to breathe. These are some asanas, forward folding, where sometimes we forget to breathe. So the breathing is important here, even with the intense stretch. Inhale, exhale 3, inhale, exhale 4, inhale, exhale 5, inhale, walk the hands back up, lift the left knee, and then straighten both legs out in front of you. Dandasana, staff seat, right? Okay. Questions?
I noticed how
Good.
staff seat is the same as down dog at the wall when we were sitting against the wall. Like if you want to work on your down dog, work on your Dandasana.
Okay. Now, staying seated at the edge of the blanket, right? Let's bend both legs here, like this. Okay. Now take the left leg, bring the left knee out to the side, and make the shin parallel to the front edge of your mat. Pretty good. Keep that left foot dorsal flexed. And then stack the right shin on top of it. Look at that space in between my legs. I'm going to come and take a blanket and put that blanket in between. Now, a couple things that are important from an alignment perspective. My ankle is stacked over my knee. So Amy, you're going to bring that ankle. Both of my feet are flexed, and they're pointing toward the back and front sides of the room. Again, protecting our knee is really important here. How are we doing? Okay. So we can also bring the leg here. If that's like really intense, right? We can bring the leg like this. So
That would be better for the chest. So put that down. Then.
but we're going to do our right leg first.
You were fine. I don't know where you're going for. Hey, Kevin. Oh, Roma Kevin.
Roma Kevin. Okay. And this is called Agni Stambhasana. Everybody say that with me. Agni Stambhasana. Stacking the shins or fire log seat. Okay. And this is an intense hip opener, right? Feels, so instead of bringing the blanket here, you're going to take the blanket and you're going to place it underneath the knee. So keep the legs just the way that they were, and then take the blanket and see how I folded my blanket? Look at that. To make the space for that I have, right? That's why we do a lot of these warm-ups, so at least our body, please.
Okay, everybody, go over to the wall. Everybody, come out of the wall, lay on your back with your legs up the wall. Okay, because we got, it's like a little, like, everybody's a little bit like, oh my God, what's happening? My hips, I have hips now today, oh my God. Okay, so here's a variation of this, but I want you to understand how to use your hip flexor. So bend your right knee. Bend your right knee, put your right ankle above your left knee. So your knee's out of the side and finger forward.
Oh, nice.
Like you're sitting cross-legged in a couch. Like your dad used to sit, right? Okay. Now dorsal flex this right foot. Now, dorsal flexing the right foot protects your right knee joint. So don't point your toe, don't let your foot become soft. Now bend your left knee and put your left foot flat on the wall. Now, your hips may want to lift up. Try to get your hips down. Put your hands on the floor next to your hips. Now, using your hip flexor, move your right knee toward the wall. You will feel this hip opener happening when you move your right knee toward the wall, dorsal flexing. There's your muscle. Okay.
So the ankle's going to come over the knee, right? So you got to move this here a little bit, and now bring the toes back.
Now extend your left leg. Extend your left leg straight on the wall. Left leg straight up on the wall, Kevin. Now bring your right knee to your chest. Give the hug. Switch sides. Extend your right leg up. Bend your left knee. Put your left ankle above your right knee joint. Now bend your right knee. Put your right foot flat on the wall. Okay? Now dorsal flex your left foot and push your left knee toward the wall using your hip flexor muscle. Not just kind of lifting your hips.
Bring your hips down to the ground. There you go.
Push here. If I feel it. In. Good. And exhale.
Can you bend this leg a little bit more?
Extend your right leg.
There you go.
Bend your left knee into your chest. Give your left knee a hug. Extend your left leg and both your knees. Roll over to the left, come back to the mat. Now let's redo this.
Redo it.
Okay.
All right.
So what we just did is I got you guys to understand how to use the hip flexor muscle. Because some people are a little bit like, well, what do I do here? I don't know where it's going.
It's floopy.
So now you got it, because it's a weird muscle, right? Here again, the hip flexor is a little bit like over here in your diaphragm. It's like I don't get asked to move it consciously. So now try it now. Try it. And for those of you, now you know what we want out of the variation. Okay?
Okay. So we're going to come back and sit at the edge of our mat, right? Just as we did. Can extend our legs just like they were up the wall. Now we're extending our legs back here, Dandasana, staff C. Yeah. Now bend both of the knees. And then place the left knee down on the ground first. That shin comes parallel. And then take the right shin, stack it on top. And again, so the ankle stacked over the knee. Yeah, it makes you can feel that hip, right? A little bit more. Take the blanket, place the blanket in between. Good, we got our modifications. Agni Stambhasana. So take the ankle and stack that ankle just like we did at the wall together. The ankle's going to come over the knee. If that is feeling impossible, so keep moving it, right? Because we don't want to do this with our foot. We're going to tear all the ligaments, right? So we have to protect the knee, protect the ankle. Okay. Now in this asana, we are also going to fold forward. Lucky day. And we're going to use the same thoughts, right? And move our body in the same way, just like Paschimottanasana, where we're trying to elongate the spine and look forward. But to help us get there, you guys can stay. Come to the right and start to walk the hands out a little bit. And then walk the hands forward in front of you. And again, we're trying to keep the chest on the legs, right? We can look forward. That spine stays long. We're grounding down in both of our sit bones, right? So we're not hiking one up or the other, even though, you know, we're feeling the stretch in the hip. And we're remembering to breathe. And we're looking forward at our hands. Okay. Now let's walk the hands back up. We can lift the right knee, place the right foot on the ground, place the left foot on the ground, extend both the legs, maybe give them a little shake. Any questions about that?
Did we do both sides?
No, we didn't do both sides yet. Just giving it a little rest and seeing if any questions before we try the other side. All right.
There's a lot of different variations to this. So these variations are better. It doesn't mean that you won't be able to ever do that other one. It just means that the hip flexor is higher. Mainly from the piriformis. Right? The piriformis is deep inside my glute muscles. It attaches over here to the pelvis and runs over to the outside of the leg. And that's where you're feeling that burning at. The piriformis.
Okay, let's try the other side. So bend both knees. Okay. And then take the right shin, bring the right knee down to the ground. Right shin comes parallel to the front edge of the mat. Dorsal flex that right foot. Then take the left leg and stack the left shin on top of the right. Again, both feet are dorsal flexed. Ankle is stacked over the knee. If you need a blanket to help support in between the knee and the foot, go ahead. Take a deep breath in. And then we can walk our hands over to the left side now, right? Extend the arms out. And then start to walk our hands around until we're over the legs. And then exhale, fold forward. Again, keeping that spine long, remembering to breathe. If you're in a modification, keep it active. Don't daze off into space. I know the colors are nice, but... And remember to breathe. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale, start to walk the hands up. Lift the left knee, place the left foot on the ground. Lift the right knee, place the right foot on the ground. Extend both legs out. Give them a little shake. Cool.
Thighs on fire.
Okay, we're going to move on to our next asana. So let's take our 3 blocks. I'm going to bar, actually I'll take these 3 blocks so I don't have to borrow anybody's. And we can take our blankets with us, but we're going to come back to the wall and we'll set up our blocks like this. Okay? So making a T.
So then you move the mat back.
Move your mat back to the wall first. And then place the T of blocks on top of the mat. Okay? Should we sit on the blanket or sit flat on the ground? Trying to feel the sit bones.
I think that with the just have them set on.
Okay. All right. Great. Everybody has their tea? You guys are fantastic. And girls. Okay. Now come to sit back with your sacrum up against that block.
Just like we do when we practice that L shape.
And extend the legs out in front of you. Now bend the right knee again, right? And take the right foot and place it on the outside of the left knee. You don't have to hike it up any farther. It can be outside the left knee or even outside the left calf. Remember our left foot, right? We're pressing through that heel. I know that's our favorite part. Good. Okay. Does everybody feel that your sit bones that we felt before are on the ground? Both of them should be on the ground, right? Our sit bones are going to stay here. We're going to twist. So similar to how we did in the warm-up, but we're actually learning a little bit more about it. So you can take your right knee in the crook of your left elbow, and now just reach around and place your hand on the wall. Don't lean into the wall, right? But create some tension with the wall. You're using the wall to feel where your head and your spine and your sacrum are aligned, right? Your cranial sacral should be aligned. So it's in one straight line, reaching up toward the ceiling as we twist to the right. Now come back to the center. Does everybody feel that? Sit bones. Bend the leg. This one.
Do it on the left side, then do the bending. Now do left.
Okay.
Do left.
All right.
Like you just did.
Okay.
And then do bend.
All right. So let's straighten out our right leg. Okay. Now bend the left. Place the left foot on the outside of the right knee or the calf. Okay. You don't have to come any higher than that though. The twist happens. Sitting up tall. Bring the knee inside the crook of the elbow and then twist to the left and place that left hand on the wall. And again, pushing up against the wall a little bit, right? So that you feel that your head, your spine, your sacrum are all in line.
What am I looking at?
I'm looking at my left hand, if I can. I'm looking over my left shoulder in the direction that I'm going. Okay? Come back to center. And straighten the left leg next to the right. All right. Any questions about that? No, we did not, but I was just about to. So this is called Ardha Matsyendrasana, half-seated spinal twist seat. Yeah? Okay. All right. So we're going to add on to that. Bend the right knee. Place the right foot on the outside of the left knee. Both sit bones down. Now, you can stay here, but you can also try bending the left knee and bringing that left heel to the outside of your right sit bone. Now, remember what I said about making sure both of our sit bones are on the ground. So we don't want to hike up the right and sit on this left. No, not good. We want to make sure that both sit bones are on the ground. That's very important because, right, if we're misaligning our sacrum, then we're messing with the vertebrae in our spine, right? And that can have long-lasting effects on our back, our spinal health, right? So we want to make sure that our spine is long, both of our sit bones are on the ground.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
So now that also what's happening is, and this is something that people don't think, so when first you sit on your left heel, and I see it all the time, nobody ever says anything, you're hiking up and like Stephanie said, you're twisting at the circle, okay? But what's happening over here is this right foot wants to really plant down because that creates a stretch in the IT band on the outside of your right leg. If you let this right foot kind of lift, notice how you relax that. So that also matters too, that this right big toe, whether the leg is extended out or the knee is bent, that's crucial because now it's just kind of drive your hip down on the right side of your right big toe down. So you're driving that way and this way. All right, go ahead, Stephanie.
Okay. So now we can bring the crook of the elbow back into the right knee. You want to? Okay. All right. We're gonna go for the whole thing. We're gonna take our left elbow. We're gonna bring it to the outside of our right knee, and then as you exhale, twist to the right. And this time you can bring the hand to the blocks behind the block. That's the T part of the block, right? So next to the sacrum. Fingertips point toward the wall, right? And we're looking over the right shoulder. Both of our sit bones are down. Our head is in line with our sacrum, right? We're sitting up tall and we're breathing. Okay. So making sure that right foot, Amy, is on the ground. There we go. Great. Now,
Look at there. Oh my God.
Inhale now, bring the torso back toward the center. And then we can extend both of our legs. Let's try the other side. Bend the left knee. Place the left foot on the outside of the right knee. Then, if you did so on the other side, bend the right knee and bring the right foot to the outside of your left sit bone, not sitting on it, right? Keeping both sit bones on the ground, left foot is firmly planted on that ground, creating that connection with the ground. Now, let's take the right elbow. We'll bring it to the outside of the left knee. And then as you exhale, twist to the left. Again, remembering to bring the hand close to the sacrum. Head, sacrum is aligned. And we're looking over the left shoulder. So these twists help us with digestion, right? We twist to the right first because that activates your ascending colon. And then we twist to the left because you also have a descending colon. And both of those things help us in our digestion. And then inhale, come back to center. Extend the left leg, extend the right leg. Come back to Dandasana. Any questions about that? Everybody say it with me. Ardha Matsyendrasana. Ardha Matsyendrasana. Half-seated spinal twist C. Okay. We're going to move into Salamba Sarvangasana, otherwise known as shoulder stand. Okay. So let's remove the blocks from the wall. We can place them toward the front. And Amy, can I use your mat for a moment? Okay, because we're going to take our blankets, take just one of the blankets, open it up one. So everybody's blanket is folded like this. Let's open it up one. Okay. Now this is a little tricky. You're going to have to figure it out. As the weeks go on, you will figure it out. But take about one hand next to the wall, and then place the fringe side of the blanket next to your hand. Everybody get that? Cool. Good? Good. Okay. Now we're going to take our mat. We're trying to create a little bit of traction here. Something is wrong with Kevin's blanket, but okay. Fold it. Oh, that one's a little tricky. And then we're going to fold it again. Okay? This is so that we don't like slip and slide on our blankets, right? Because we want to protect the neck. Now, as we move into this, I'm going to be talking to you. Once we're lying on our back, don't move your neck. Just listen to the words that I'm saying, all right? So now everybody come and sit at the edge of your mat like this. On the side. And then come to roll on your back and lift your legs up the wall, making those sit bones come up against the wall, okay? Now you might have to shimmy a little bit. This is good, so that your shoulders are on the edge of the mat. And this, if you were here last week, we learned Viparita Karani, reverse attitude, legs up the wall, right? So this is considered an inversion. Now from here, this is how we're going to get into Salamba Sarvangasana, shoulder stand. So bend both knees and plant the feet on the wall. Bring the arms alongside the body, okay? Now pressing the feet into the wall, lift the hips up. Trying to keep the feet straight up, toes pointed toward the ceiling. Now take the hands underneath your back and see if you can clasp the hands together under the back. You may have to, you should shimmy the shoulders a little bit closer together. And then bring the hands, so you can release the clasp of the hands, bring the hands to your back, fingertips pointing up toward the ceiling, trying to bring the palm of your hand close to your back. Your bra strap. Pretend you have a bra strap on if you don't, and try to bring that there. Good. Don't turn your head, just listen to what I'm saying. Important to protect the neck. Now lift the right leg up from the wall. Woo. Now lift the left leg to meet it. And see if you can bring the hips in line with the shoulders. So trying to bring the toes pointing directly up to the ceiling. The lower the hands are on the back toward the shoulders, the easier that's going to be. Kevin, can you move your hands down your back a little bit? So inversions are really good for us to reverse the flow of blood in the body, right? Bringing blood back to the heart, helping us to change the perspective that we have in the world, right? We often see things in the opposite direction. Samantha, try to keep your neck straight. Now, from here, if you can stay here, we'll just stay here for another couple of seconds. If you can, try to bend the knees and see if you can bring your knees to your forehead, keeping your hands on the back for support. Amazing. Kind of feel that spine starting to curve. Love the control. And then try to lift the legs back up. Good for you. And then we're going to come out of this the way that we came into it. So bringing one leg back to the wall, bending the knee, bring the other leg back to the wall. You can release the hands from the back and bring the hips down with control. Good. Okay. Now, just the way you came into it, roll over onto the side. And now everybody extend your mat back out, just the way that it was. Take the blanket off of the mat. We're going to take one of our blocks. We're going to put that block in between our shoulder blades. So we're going to place the block like this. Let me show you, actually. Everybody can look here for a minute. So if we place the block like this, we come to sit on the mat. And then we want that block to come in between our shoulder blades. So we're going to extend our legs out. We're going to tuck our elbows in toward our hips. Our palms face up. We're not sitting on the hands, right? And then we're going to lie back and extend the throat. You can point the toes now. I know, nice. Matsyasana. You can point the toes, bring the legs together. I'll move your water bottle for you. So when we were in shoulder stand, we were constricting the throat, constricting the thyroid. And now here in Matsyasana, we're extending the throat. Now, pressing lightly into the elbows, take a deep breath in and tuck your chin into your chest. And then come to sit up so we can remove the block from underneath the shoulder blades.
Good. And then take one of your blankets, roll it up like you're going camping, and place the blanket underneath your knees. Okay? And so you can do it long ways. You can do it like a little, it's like a little vegan Slim Jim. And then laying down on your back with the blanket underneath your knees. You can let your toes move away from each other so there's an external rotation of the legs and thighs. And let the palms face upward so there's an external rotation of the shoulders. And start to just close the eyes, coming into Shavasana, corpse seat. And starting with your toes, tell yourself toes relax. Move up the body, ankles relax. Shins relax. Knees relax. Thighs relax. Hips relax. Lower back relax. Abdomen relax. Chest relax. Upper back relax. Hands and fingers relax. Forearms relax. Elbows relax. Upper arms relax. Shoulders relax. The throat relaxes. The jaw relaxes. The teeth move away from each other and relax. The tongue inside the mouth expands and relaxes. The nostrils relax. The eyes sink deeper into the skull and relax. The forehead relaxes. The crown of the head relaxes. Even the hairs on the head relax. And finally, you realize that the whole body has relaxed. Gently start to deepen the breath. And as you deepen the breath, make small movements with the fingers and toes. Stretch the arms overhead and stretch the arms and legs in opposite directions. Bend the knees into the chest, giving the knees a hug. And gently roll over to the right side. And then just gently push the left palm into the floor and lift the torso up and come back up to a seated position. You can sit on your blanket for a moment. Then once you found your seat, just close the eyes, inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale everything out through the nose. One more time, inhale deeply. And exhale out. And then bring the hands together in undulating mudra. And bow the head slightly. And thank you all for coming. Thank you, Stephanie, for teaching with me. Any questions? We're happy to answer them. Next week will be back bending. So that's what we'll be doing next. If you missed week 1, just don't worry about it. You'll just, beginning of January, you'll just do that one. Okay. If you're like new to the studio and you want to do more than this one class, I would suggest Foundational Vinyasa, which is also on Sundays at 12 and Thursdays at 7. Okay. So, and that's like this next step up, the Foundational Vinyasa. So they'll be like doing forward folds, but they'll put a little more chili pepper in it. Okay. Then next week they'll be doing back bends. They'll put a little more like masala in it. All right. So everybody have a wonderful day, and we will see you next time.